Hey everybody, horticulturist Gary Bachman. It's time for another daily dose of hort. Well, earlier this year, I did several daily doses looking at the dwarf or the micro tomatoes that we grew this year. And we did the one indoor segments. We did a couple outdoor segments. Well, I wanted to get back to growing these dwarf tomatoes indoors under the LED shop lights like I did earlier this summer, which had given me the ideas, why can't we grow these like year round inside? So finally getting back to that project, I've started all of the 10 varieties of micros that I've got here, and I started these in the Bootstrap Farmer plug trays, the air pruning plug trays that I've cut down. These are normally 10 to fit in 10, 20 trays. This half tray works out really well for my gardening style, which I've shared in the past. But I've gone ahead and I didn't sow these like I do some of the main crop tomatoes by putting a whole bunch of seeds, sowing them really densely in a single pot or a single cell, and then separating them out. I have no intentions of growing that many tomatoes to grow inside. I want to have maybe one of each plant just to see how they grow and do more kind of variety trial indoors. So I had just put just a couple of seeds. I'm just going to pop it out. I love these trays because you can just pop the plugs out from the bottom. But I started these, and I only put two seedlings in each cell. I realize this is overkill. I've got like 10, going to have like 10 of each here maybe, but I don't want to plant this plug with both of these seedlings in it. So what I'm going to do, and I know I'm going to horrify other folks, and I'm going to get lots of suggestions about rooting what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to take these plugs, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to decide which one I think is the strongest of the seedlings. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and snip that out of there. This is a situation where you don't want to pull that extra seedling out of there because the roots are all intertwined together, and you're probably going to damage the roots of the plug that you want. So I've got to do that. This tray here I have already gone through, and I just pop that out and just reduce that down to a single seedling in each plug. And I mentioned that these are the Bootstrap Farmer. These are the air pruning trays. They've got these trays have, I don't know if you can see it. I'll have to zoom in on it. But the trays have a little slot here where the roots will come out, hit that airspace, and they won't circle around the plug tray like on some conventional. But these were, when did I do these? I sowed these on November 13th. So we're a month. And look at that. Look at that. That's a good healthy plug that we're going to have. Now my first thoughts were to take these nicely rooted plugs and put them right into these squat azalea type nursery containers. But in my experience, putting a plug like this into a big pot, it tends to slow down the root development. It doesn't produce as robust a transplant. So they'll eventually get into these pots. But what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop these into my 3.5 inch round pots that I'd like to use for everything. And this will produce a much healthier, more well-rooted transplant for when I end up putting this in here. And with the way the health of these plugs look, maybe only be a couple weeks, and then we can go ahead and put them into the bigger pots. And I'll share that when we get to that. Now, potting mix I use is the that Jolly Gardener mix. Love the Jolly Gardener. Love a professional growing mix. I mean, I think that's important. Don't cheap out on the growing mix. The Jolly Gardener or these professional mixes maybe cost $10 to $12 a cubic foot. They're well worth it. You get what you pay for. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead and put the mix in like that. I'm gonna just dibble with my finger. I mean that's a pretty easy way to do it. And why not take that plug that we've been using already, and we'll just pop that in there. Now I'll go ahead and put tags in. You really need to tag everything, even though you think you're going to remember. Tags are really important. So you know exactly what you've got and the dates of transplant and stuff like that. So anyways, I've got more to do here. Am I going to pot all of these up? Unfortunately, no. I've promised some to some friends here locally, and I'll pot those up and deliver those over the upcoming holidays. So listen, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time for another Daily Dose of Hort.